Is it just me, or does anyone else feel like there are billions of thoughts running through their head at all times? I am the person who constantly overthinks, overanalyzes, overcatastrophizes every single aspect of their life. My thoughts, my relationships, my conversations, my goals, my career, my identity even. With every single scenario, I jump to what's the worst thing that could happen? Or what if this person is thinking this way? Anything negative that my mind can come up with, it typically will. For the majority of my life, I was taught to not ask questions, to stay silent. And so I did that. I silenced my thoughts, I silenced my curiosity, I silenced my personality and even my identity. And so I grew really anxious, really depressed, and really overstimulated with life. I was confused and lost. And I reached a really painful point a few years ago where I came to this realization that I had no idea who I was and no idea who I was becoming, for that matter. I looked in the mirror and could not even recognize myself. Who is she? I didn't know who my friends were. I didn't know what I was doing with the rest of my life. I didn't know what I was doing now. I didn't know what my hobbies were, my interests were. I spent most of my days trying to just distract myself so that I didn't feel all those negative emotions, those negative feelings, whether it be about myself or about my situation in general. I was just this empty shell. And if you've ever been in this point, which I'm hoping I'm not the only one, you know how that feels. To not even know who you are, to not recognize yourself, to not feel like you belong anywhere. And so in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how I use journaling as a form of self-discovery. Before I get into the video, I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Bridget, and I am a mindset and confidence coach for introverted women. I also have a free Facebook group that I'm going to be linking down below. But if you are a woman into personal development, you want to change your mindset, work on your confidence, have more fulfilling relationships, this is definitely going to be the place for you. Also, don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and useful in any way. Comment below what you want to see more from me, and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. So let's get into the video. I've done a previous video on journaling before, and it did pretty well. So a lot of you guys seem to like this topic. I talked about this in the previous video, but how I first got into journaling was just a couple years ago when I reached that painful point in my life. And I had this urge to write everything down, everything that I could remember about my life. Because like I said, I was lost, I was confused. I felt like I was pushing so much down. I didn't know who I was. And so I wanted to start from the very beginning. Where did I come from? What was my childhood like? What were some of the memories that I could remember? And I started remembering things that I didn't know I knew or remembered. Some of it was the truth and some of it wasn't. Some of them were false memories that I've created to tell myself a story. I needed a story. That's typically how we heal. Regardless of if those memories were truth or not, or if that writing was truth or not, it gave me a sense of relief. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And from that point, I sort of started my journey to healing. I did many things during that time, but as far as journaling and writing goes, I started to pick up this habit more frequently, and I started to notice a lot of things happening, both physically and mentally. At that time in my life, I had been really neglecting myself physically, emotionally, and mentally. I wasn't taking care of my health, my body, my mental health especially. I was pushing things down and distracting myself and numbing myself so that I didn't feel that pain, so I didn't have to address what was really going on. And because of that, I didn't know what I really liked. I wasn't fully present and I wasn't fully aware. I was mean. I wasn't cognizant of my actions. I wasn't thinking about consequences. And so it was a good time to really start picking up this habit. As soon as I started doing it more frequently, I started to notice that what I was writing down wasn't necessarily just things that were going on throughout the day. It was asking myself questions like, why did I do this throughout the day? Why was I feeling a certain way throughout the day? Or just simply becoming aware of a feeling throughout the day. I started noticing more of my thoughts, addressing more of my thoughts. I started noticing, even when I wasn't journaling, throughout the day how I was feeling and becoming aware of the physical sensations and the internal sensations. And the questions I started asking when I was journaling became questions that I just started asking throughout the day. And it helped me become more present. It helped me be more mindful to how I was treating myself and how I was treating other people in my life. When we write or journal, we are able to connect with our needs and our desires. So not only was I connecting to my needs, but I also started to realize that during this process, I started to understand myself a little bit more. I started to get a better sense of who I was and who I was becoming during this whole process. And as this habit continued, I started writing about my goals, what I wanted my life to look like, what I'd wanted myself to look like, what I wanted my values and my beliefs to look like. And as I started noticing these changes in my life, I started noticing that I was becoming a little bit more confident. I had less stress. And it wasn't necessarily less stress in my life, but it was that there was less buildup of stress. Instead of distracting myself and pushing those thoughts down and neglecting the things that I needed to do, which were causing my stress, I started to notice the stress, become aware of the stress, calm myself down in a way that I knew I needed to, and then started to address the problem if I had to. I was finally feeling like I was understanding myself, my wants, my needs, my goals, my desires. It was almost as if I was getting to know myself all over again. Like I was crafting a whole new version of myself. So journaling for me was a self-discovery for sure. It really helped me identify what thoughts I needed to address. It helped me recognize some of the emotions that I was feeling and holding on to. And it helped me become a better communicator to myself and others. So if you've ever wanted to start journaling, now is your time. Don't be afraid to do it. It could be a self-discovery journey for you too. Before we end today's video, I just wanted to quickly let you guys know that spots for my free consult are open. So if you are an anxious introvert like myself, and you want to have more confidence, you want to have more fulfilling relationships in your life, I really recommend you signing up for the consult. You'll get to chat with me, see how I can help, and see if we're a good fit. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found it useful as always, and I will see you next time. Bye.